Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents Scents. We're really quickly heading into the end of the year, and 2024 felt like the year of the clone because practically every week it felt like there were 10 or 15 new ones dropping. You had the huge brands like Armaf and Lattafa and ALTHAIR releasing fragrances constantly, along with their sub-brands like Maison Alhambra or Hamidi. You had Fragrance World coming out with all kinds of stuff, and then French Avenue, which is part of Fragrance World. It's been nonstop. And frankly, even as I shoot this video, I still have more clone fragrances in the mail headed to me right now. But I wanted to go ahead with this video and highlight what I feel like personally are 10 of the absolute best fragrance clones that came out this year. Some of the stuff that just the first time I smelled them, I was like, holy crap, this is amazing for the price point. All of the stuff I talked to you about is gonna be linked in the description below, so feel free to check them out down there. And there are a lot of really good fragrances that aren't highlighted in this video that maybe you catch me on a different day. I might be like, well, move this one out and put this one in. But for now, we're just gonna roll with it. This is in no particular order, so the first fragrance I show you isn't the worst or anything like that. Let's get it started off with this one from Lattafa, which is actually one of the newer ones that I've gotten in. This one is called Nausea Intense, and it was released as an exclusive for the perfume box. There are some parts of this that I don't like just in terms of the presentation, like the box and the cap has this kind of weird feeling felt on it. Like right here on the cap and then around the box. I'm not a huge fan of that. Obviously that's not really a big deal, but I hate it. And this is one that kind of came out of absolutely nowhere. I didn't see it announced anywhere. It just dropped on the perfume box and they were like, hey, look, an exclusive. They didn't even do a pre-order. It just popped up. And it's coming out right here toward the very end of the year. And it's a clone of one of the biggest releases of the year, Paradise Garden. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Lattafa dropping a Paradise Garden clone like end of November. But that's what it is, and it smells great. It's got that sweetness just like from the Le Beau. It's got a really nice staying power to it as well, so you don't have to reapply over and over and over again or anything like that. It's got the same compliment factor like Paradise Garden has. It is gonna lean more toward the green side of things, again, like Paradise Garden, so you have to be aware of that. Some people don't really enjoy having a little green aspect to their scents, but I think it smells absolutely fantastic. And even though it came out in fall heading into winter and it's more of like a spring, summertime fragrance, it still smells so good that I had to put it in this list. So starting off with Lattafa, Nausea Intense, which is Paradise Garden. After that one from Montaigne, and this one is called Monkey Special, which you're never gonna believe is a clone of Monkey Special. Oh, yeah, I guess you can believe that then, yeah. Technically, the entire name of the fragrance it's a clone of is, of course, Xerjoff Tony Iommi Monkey Special. They just removed those first 3 words. And Montaigne has a lot of very, very good clone fragrances. I've purchased, I think, 19 over the past year or so. This one is my very favorite of all of the ones that I've smelled so far. And that's saying something because some of those other ones are also fantastic, but this one is just like, for me, on another level. So I said this in the first video where I talked about this one, but I fully believe if this fragrance were released by Lattafa or Armaf or Maison Alhambra or Fragrance World, French Avenue, ALTHAIR, whoever, it would be huge. I don't know if it would be like Camera levels of huge, but it would still be one of those fragrances that everybody's talking about, that everybody is scooping up. It's very close to Tony Iommi Monkey Special. There are a few differences between this one and that one. That one has more of like a cocktail kind of boozy sweetness when you first spray it on. The rum is more prominent. You still get the rum here, so it's not like it's completely gone. It's just you get more of it in the Xerjoff. This one has maybe a little more of a sweet spiciness off the top compared to the Xerjoff when you first spray it on, but still very similar. And then as it dries down, they maintain that similarity. It's got really good performance, smells absolutely amazing in the air. Just a top-notch clone, a great alternative to the Xerjoff. Next up, I'll talk about this one, Harmony Code Absolute from Fragrance World. Now, I thought that I had actually gotten this a while before 2024. I thought I got it in 2023, but when I went back and looked, I actually saw that I got this one like 9-10 months ago. So it feels like longer, but actually 2024, so I had to put it in here. It's actually a clone that I mention decently often, and that's because I was a huge fan of Code Absolute. Unfortunately, Code Absolute didn't make it. Giorgio Armani took it out behind the barn and yeah, pulled an old Yeller on the fragrance. So that left me with no Code Absolute other than my bottle and backup bottle. I do have those. But this gives me a very inexpensive alternative to that. And like I just said, it's inexpensive, which makes me happy. It's one of the better clones of a discontinued fragrance that you can get right now, and one of my favorite fragrance worlds, period. So, got to include it. Since we're talking discontinued stuff, I got another one. It's Essential from Rasasi. So, It's Essential is one of Rasasi's cheaper fragrances, at least when you can find it in stock, and this is a clone of L'Homme Ultime from Yves Saint Laurent. Kind of the same deal with what I just talked about with the Code. I loved it. It's dead. This is like it's reanimated corpse. That's a really good mental image. You look at it and you go, oh yeah, I remember you. Oh, what happened to you? Your ear is falling off. That's weird. Okay, bye. It doesn't smell like a corpse though. It smells really similar to L'Homme Ultime. So it's got that nice ginger opening, very fresh, citrusy, clean, and classy as well. Has a nice fresh rose accent to it and smells much more expensive than the cheap price point would have you believe. I make no bones about it. I like collecting discontinued fragrances. And if somebody brings out a clone of a fragrance that I loved before it was discontinued, now you're talking to me, okay? You're bringing back something discontinued, which I like. It was a fragrance that I loved when it was around, which I like. It's cheap, which I like. Thank you. More of that, please. So, got to include this one for those reasons. Amazing for spring and summer. Amazing. Not even with the A, just amazing. I'm looking down here and there's one more that is a discontinued fragrance, so I'm gonna do that one next, and then after that, no more discontinued stuff, okay? It's this one, the Envy of FOMO from FOMO. Technically, it's the Envy of FOMO Le Parfum. Classy. So this one is a clone of a fragrance, actually two fragrances that are right behind me in pretty much every video. I don't know why I said pretty much, they're always there. They are right here. Envy, Gucci Envy. 1 and 2. I've got both iterations just hanging out back here. The color changed, some other stuff, whatever. They're back there. They're back there because I love them, just like Drakkar Noir, which I love, which is, am I pointing at the right spot? Nope, back there. But Gucci Envy, you got it, discontinued and expensive. That's where the Envy of FOMO comes in. It gives me something that's very similar to Gucci Envy, but very not as expensive as Gucci Envy. Let this be a lesson to the clone houses. More discontinued stuff, give it to me. Look, hit me up, email me. Hey man, what are some discontinued fragrances that we should bring back? I'll give you a list. So this one is, again, classy, gentlemanly. It's going to appeal more to people middle-aged and older. If you're a much younger guy, this is probably not going to be your style. It's warm, it's spicy, it's sexy, it's very gentlemanly. Excellent fragrance release. And if you want Gucci Envy on the cheap, this is your best bet right now. Let's go next with this, Lattafa's The Kingdom. This is one that I got in recently. I bought it from JOMASHOP, and it is a clone of La Male Elixir. Almost looks like a Trussardi Riflesso's bottle, like on the back. It's kind of ribbed for your pleasure, or a washboard, something like that. And this one goes with the tried, tested, and true clone house aesthetic of slapping little crystals on your bottle, because that makes it look expensive? I guess. They were like, I don't know, it's kind of a dinged up, cheap looking plastic. How are we gonna make it look better? Johnson, what's your idea? All right, stick with me here. You know how Club de Nuit Intense Man has like crystals on it? That, but shittier. That's essentially what's going on here. Oh, that's a cheap sound. Let's take that lid off again. But you know what? None of that matters, does it? No, it doesn't. Because you're not gonna wear this around your neck like Flavor Flav with a clock. I mean, you could do that, I guess, but most people are not going to. And this is a clone of Le Male Elixir. And it's good. It's real good, actually. And not a surprise that more and more Le Male Elixir clones have been coming out. Most of them are actually pretty good, the ones that I've smelled. But this one might be the best. It's got solid performance. It gets that honeyed kind of tobacco scent profile that Le Male Elixir has. It gets that across very well. Quality is there. The price point, not too high. Just a great release. Let's go with our Mauve next. Club de Nuit PERSEUS 1. Will there be a PERSEUS 2? I'm assuming yes, but as of this video, who knows? So this is like the evolution in Club de Nuit fragrances, making them pricier but higher quality, and also much smaller in terms of bottle size. It's actually a very odd bottle size, 55 milliliters. Couldn't go with just a normal 50, they gotta give you 10% more. And they do keep with the little crystal. That's right, they didn't put it on the cap or anything, they kept it low key. Just one crystal on the little dingly dangly diddle bobbidle right there. Nice. And this one is a clone of Absolute Aventus from Creed. Also, I love whining about this, but the bottle is wobbly. Let's do a wobble check here. Tap it, tap it. Oh, passes, passes, passes. Ooh, ooh, passes, passes, passes. All I'm saying, you gotta be a little careful when you put this bad boy up on your shelf. Am I clumsier than the average person? Yes, but still. That's wobbly. Just barely touch it. Oof. It needs a nice flared base at the bottom. Who cares about that though? The fragrance, the fragrance. It's good, that's why it's in the list. An excellent interpretation of Absolute Aventus, great quality, huge versatility. You can wear it whenever you want. Daytime, nighttime, don't matter. Good compliment puller, smells expertly done, and I like it. From there, we move on to Liquid Brune from French Avenue, which is part of Fragrance World. And this one is a clone of Parfums de Marly's ALTHAIR. And this is just one of the best clones out there right now, in my opinion. Like, the quality is there. It's sweet, it's rich, it's bold, it's a compliment puller, it has good performance. Just really crushed it with that one. They absolutely nailed it. And you're starting to see some more clones of ALTHAIR come out. Lattafa has one that I got in maybe a week ago, and that one's also very, very, very good. But for me, when I think about ALTHAIR, when I think about clones for that fragrance, the first one that pops into my head is this one. And it's just so darn good and so close that it's just like the go-to. Rafaqat, Rafaqat. Oh God, that sounded so bad. Paris Corner Rafaqat. This one's a clone of Baby Cat from Yves Saint Laurent, expertly done. Has a really nice, cozy, warm, sexy sweetness to it. You know, that lightly smoky, warm vanilla just smells amazing. You pick it up off the top, into the mid, into the dry down. You can find that online for like 25 bucks, which is an amazing deal for the quality. And it does very well at capturing Yves Saint Laurent Baby Cat. That actually sounds weird. It sounds like I'm talking about it capturing a kitten. The fragrance Baby Cat from YSL. Paris Corner is one of those fragrance houses where if they hit it, they crush it, and this is one of those. Sometimes they don't, but that one they did. I've actually got two more to go. I got one bonus one for you. The next one is French Avenue Mirage Absolu. And this one has been off and on a pain in the butt to find. You can find it at some stores like Triple Traders, but it was a little expensive at Triple Traders. If I can be honest with you, it was a little costly. But it started to pop up other places, and it is good. This one is LAYTON EXCLUSIF. I think overall, quality-wise, this is better Venditor Noir exclusive. It has that sweetness, that richness that you would expect from Layton/Layton exclusive. Amazing for fall and winter. Really nice evening scent. Big compliment puller, great performance. Just absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. The way that the warm, sweet spices hit you with this one. In the opening, in the air, really good. And last but not least, Vintage Radio from Lattafa. So this one is a clone of Paragon from Initio, which is very pricey. And I love the opening of Vintage Radio. I think it's just one of those ones where you smell it. Well, also Paragon. I mean, if we're honest, right? Also Paragon. More so Paragon because that's the original one. But still, the opening of Vintage Radio is just magic. Very sweet plum, but has like a little dark edge to it. Helps offset that sweetness ever so slightly, makes it more interesting. Massive compliment puller, huge performance here, just amazing quality. Lattafa through the year has been releasing more and more stuff that's just like amazing for the price. And that's one of the ones that I got in, sprayed it the first time, and just the first whiff, I was like, game over, awesome. So we're gonna finish off with Vintage Radio. Just an amazing release, really good for fall, winter, and early spring also. So there we go, guys. There are 11, technically, of my favorite fragrances that came out this year. Just some really top-notch stuff. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Let me know in the comments section some of your favorite stuff that came out this year or that you got a hold of this year. Because to be fair, some of this stuff could have been available other places before 2024, but this is when I got a hold of them, right? Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.